Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this day 3 of Lean Six Sigma Black Belt Hackathon. Okay, so let's begin with some recap. If you remember, I mentioned about a rule called 8614 yesterday, right? Which is not the Pareto analysis, but it's a rule of memory where we forget 86% during the day, right? So it's a time to recover. So let's type in the chat box what have we covered yesterday and maybe on day 1 as well. Okay, can you just randomly quickly start typing the topics in the chat box? It can be random. You don't have to be, step by step. Go ahead. Go ahead. First, we'll do the recap and then we will start the session. Today, we are going to cover a very interesting topic called design of experiments. चलो बोलिए क्या क्या देखा था हम लोगों ने कल. Have I started my chat? चैट शुरू है कि नहीं है? हाँ जी, चैट तो शुरू है. Let's start in the chat that what have we covered yesterday and day before. Randomly, you can just type the topics and we will take it from there onwards. Okay. Superb. Okay. So advanced regression. Yes, absolutely right. So we covered basic regression just to refreshment for the green belt. And then we covered the advanced regression. So in the basic regression, it's a linear model, simple linear. In advanced regression, we have seen the quadratic model and cubic model, which is also called as curvilinear regression. Correct? So it's not linear, it's curvilinear. There is a curvature into that. Correct? Very good. Then after that, there is a matrix plot also yesterday we have seen. Correct? Matrix plot. Remember matrix plot, everybody? I hope everybody remembers matrix plot. Yes? Fantastic. Then we have seen hypothesis testing. Yes. So hypothesis testing, the basic fundamentals we already have covered in the green belt level, which is what is hypothesis, what are the two basic, the null hypothesis, alternate hypothesis, right? Then we have seen the, sample, one sample t-test and two sample t-test in the green belt level itself. But now in the black belt level, we have seen pair t-test. Okay. And then we have seen ANOVA yesterday. Very good. ANOVA. What else? What else we have seen? Which hypothesis testing? So pair t-test we have seen yesterday. ANOVA we have seen yesterday. और क्या क्या देखा? Type in the chat box quickly. बताइए क्या क्या देखा फटाफट. Yes. chi-square test, F-ratio test, test of equal variances. Remember this? याद है कि नहीं है? या फिर 86% पक्का भूल गए? F-ratio test. Fantastic. What else? What else? Type in the chat box. Lambda value. Yes. So when we saw this process, before we do the process capability analysis, right? We check the normality of the process. Normality. And if the data is not showing the normality, then we go for that transformation, box-cock transfer. This we checked on day 1, correct? Very good. There we checked the lambda value. That's true. Chi-square test. It is CHI, chi-square test. That is where when we, X and Y are discrete or more than 2 proportions we want to check. Like more than 2 proportions for the shift. Okay. So those kinds of things we go for chi-square test, right? Clear everybody? Kuch yaad aa gaya? Yes. Okay. 2 sample t-test also. Yes. So 1 sample t-test, 2 sample t-test. If you remember the that p-value, right? So yesterday I suggested one session on how to calculate p-value manually. How many of you checked that session? Just type me in the chat box. Have you checked that session of calculating p-value manually? किसने देखा वो session या फिर नहीं देखा? Yes? Anybody? Nobody checked that out. Please check that out. That was the session which were taken last week. How to check the p-value manually. Okay, that will give you a lot of insights about how the p-value is calculated. Okay, see, it's very simple. Just try to understand this. When we say the t-test, that means the t distribution is used. These are all distribution. When we say chi-square test, the chi-square distribution is used. Are you understanding? When we say F ratio test, the F distribution is used. So what we do is we take help of certain distributions, and on the basis of that distribution, we check the the area under curve. Okay, which is basically the p-value. Okay. So anyway, so just a second. Okay, super. So let's move on to the next part here. Today, we are going to learn something very interesting called design of experiments. Okay. Now, what happens here is, till now, okay, in the hypothesis and regression and, in the measure phase data analysis part, all we have done is we collect the data reactively. Understand me? We collect the data reactively. What does it mean? Let's say we collect the data of, example, let's say production data. Let's say we collect the data of delivery time data. If we collect the data of downtime data, if we collect the data of anything in the process, that is already a process has happened, and then we collect the data. Yes or no, everybody? Are you understanding what I'm talking about here? So whenever we collect the data, it is about the sales, it is about the production, it is about the performance, okay, which has already happened in the past, in the near past, and we collect that data. That is called reactive way. Reactive meaning we are not actively collecting it, we reactively collecting the data. There is another way of collecting the data that is called actively collecting the data. What does it mean? It means you be present in the process, you change the knobs of the process, and then you collect the data. And that is called experiment. Yes or no? In experiment, what scientist does? The scientist basically, changes certain formula, changes certain, proportions, etc. And they check the reaction. They check what is the impact on the process changes. And that's what it's called experiment. Similarly, apart from this, reactive way of collecting the data, there is something called active way of collecting data. Let me just share my screen with you and let me explain you this concept. So today's topic, which is called as design of experiments. So in the design of experiments, as I mentioned to you, till today, okay, till today in the green belt and the black belt level, till today, we have all seen the reactive way of collecting the data. That's what, let's say, time series plot. Okay, what is time series plot? Let's say, your stock market, going up or going down. What is that? The share markets, the value of the share has already happened there. Correct? And that is being plotted. Are you understanding? So we are just plotting what is happening over there. So whether it is control charts, whether it is stratification, time series plot, hypothesis, regression, this is all reactive way of collecting the data. Okay, what is active way? Active way is experiment with the changes to the process and then measure. So that means you are actively involved in the process of experiments and then you check the result. What is happening over there? It's like, I'll give you an example of this. Now, you are, you are doing a Lean Six Sigma project at the tea stall vendor. Okay. So you are doing a Lean Six Sigma project at a tea stall vendor, and your job is to increase the test. Correct? So if you're just doing, taking the feedback from the customer, you are just taking the feedback from the customer. What is the test on the scale of 1 to 10? That is called a reactive way of collecting the data. Okay. Everybody, are you understanding? Okay. The customers are consuming your tea and you are going to the customer and asking for the feedback on the scale of 1 to 10. That is called the reactive way of collecting the data. Are you clear with this point? Just type yes in the chat box. Yahan tak samajh mein aaya hai? Everybody just give me the confirmation quickly. Reactive way, have you understood the reactive way? You are not involved in, in that product creation or output creation. You don't have any impact on the output. You are just collecting the data. That's it. इट्स अ रिएक्टिव वे. क्लियर है एवरीबॉडी? समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं है? रंजन जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच. एवरीबॉडी जस्ट गिव मी कंफर्मेशन. एंड अनदर वे इज कॉल्ड, now what is proactive way? Instead of that, you go to that tea stall vendor, and now you are making the changes. You are changing the sugar content, you are changing the the milk content, you are changing the tea powder content. Now you are actively involved in the experiment, and then now you are checking the test impact on the test. That is called the active way, and that is called experimental way. Clear the difference, the basic fundamental difference? समझ में आया? Okay, so which one is more powerful? Tell me. Which one is more powerful, reactive or active? Type in the chat box. Is active more powerful or reactive more powerful? Absolutely right. So active is always powerful because you have control on the process. And then because you have done the changes, you can easily make the correlation that we have made this change. That is the reason this impact has happened. And that is what design of experiment is all about. Okay, let's see this, understand this concept with a very fantastic example. Okay, and as an example, let me give you, I'll take you to the old our schools and college days, right? Those what you can say, those kinds of days where we are very young, we have girls and boys and the opposite gender attraction and all those things, right? Let's take that, go back to those days, right? Let's see this case study over here. So Vijay, Sanjay and Ajay, all right? Vijay, Sanjay and Ajay, these are three college friends, and they go to college together. And while going together, there is a beautiful girl called Sia. Okay, now Sia is happened to be Vijay's neighbor. Understand this? Okay, so one day these boys observe that Sia is smiling at them. Wow, young boys and a beautiful girl is smiling at them. That's a, that will be creating some interest, correct? Now Sia smiled at them next day as well. All three were very excited. But now, obviously, the question comes, who is that lucky boy? Is it Vijay, who is the neighbor? Or is it Sanjay, or is it Ajay? Now they wanted, because they had attended Lean Six Sigma training from SNG. Okay. So they started to build an experiment around this. And that's what they did. Let's understand what experiment they did. Okay. So what they did, Vijay, Sanjay and Ajay, they just established one permutation combination table, and they started experimenting. The experimentation was like this. In the first run meaning on the first day, all three were there, and Sia's response was she was smiling. When the smiley face is there, that means Sia is smiling. And when there is a cross, that means she is not smiling. Okay, understand this. Then the second day, Vijay was not there, who was Sia's neighbor. Okay. Sanjay and Ajay was there, and Sia still smiled at them. All right. Then Vijay was there. On the third day, Sanjay was not there, Ajay was there. Sia still smiled. On the fourth day, Vijay and Sanjay was there, Ajay was not there, and Sia didn't smile. On the fifth day, Ajay was not there, only Sanjay was there, she didn't smile. So can you guess who was that lucky boy? Type in the chat box. According to these 4-5 days, who was that lucky boy? Type in the chat box, everybody. At whom Sia was smiling? It's very logical guess, isn't it? Yes or no? Who was that? Was it Vijay? Was it Sanjay? Or was it Ajay? It was Ajay, right? It's very obvious. When Ajay was there, she was smiling. Look at this. When Ajay was there, she was smiling. When Ajay was not there, she was not smiling. Simple, everybody with me? But look at the day number 7. On day number 7, Ajay was only one person going to the college, and Sia came there in her balcony, but she didn't smile. What? अब तक तो अजय ही लग रहा था हीरो पूरे फिल्म का, लेकिन now Sia didn't smile to Ajay as well. And the same thing continue, meaning this experiment continue. Vijay was not there, Sanjay was there, Ajay was there, Sia smiled. Okay. Again, Ajay was not there, Sia didn't smile, etc., etc. So the entire experiment happened. Interesting, right? Now, what they did, because they had understood design of experimentation, data analysis, etc., so they collected the data and put that in some software called Minitab. Okay, and they found something like this. This is called effect plot. Now, what is effect plot? Try to understand this. Effect plot is nothing but, let's say, Vijay. When Vijay was there, see, when Vijay was absent, okay, this was Sia's wings, meaning when how many times Sia smiled? So 3 times Sia smiled. When Vijay was present, she smiled 3 times. So actually, Vijay, who was supposed to be the neighbor of Sia, actually speaking, whether he was absent or whether he was present, actually the line of effect was flat. That means Vijay was not making any impact on Sia's smile. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Are you clear with this? So they just calculated how many times Vijay was there and she smiled, how many times Vijay was not there and she smiled. And both times they found three times. That means Vijay's absence and presence was not making any slope. There was no any slope creation here. Let's take Sanjay's case. When Sanjay was absent, she smiled 2 times. When Sanjay was present, she smiled 4 times. That means there is a slight slope created by Sanjay. Thoda impact dala hai Sanjay ne. But look at Ajay. When Ajay was absent, she smiled once. But when Ajay was present, she smiled more than 7 times. And the slope, the slant is huge. So that means Ajay was the person who was creating maximum impact on smiles of that girl, Sia. Okay, so who is the winner? After this statistical analysis, who is the final winner is Ajay only. Ajay Devgan. Yes, are you clear with this? Good example, isn't it? Yes. So this way also you can find out which factor is impacting our Y. Okay. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. This is called effect plot or main effect plot. Okay, which we are going to see then. Okay. So here, design of experimentation is used to, as I mentioned to you, actively involved. Okay, you are actively involved in the experiments, and then you check what is actually happening in that process. Okay, and then you can, with a statistically, with a statistical formula and statistical software, you can actually check scientifically what is the impact of each and every factor. Okay, so multiple factors, you can check various parameters impact over there as well. That's a power of design of experiment. Okay, now again, design of experiment is a very deep science. In the green belt level, we have covered the basic fundamentals of design of experimentation. In the black belt level, okay, we have covered advanced level of design of experimentation, including what you can say, the fractional factorial design and the Taguchi approach, and all the other factors are also included in the master black belt level. I'll explain you one by one. Okay. Now, in the past, we used to do experimentation with OFAT. Okay, which is called one factor at a time. You can just remember OFAT. What is OFAT? Let me give you an example of this. Okay. Now, this is the OFAT sheet, or one factor of at a time experiment sheet. Okay. In that, what happens is, let's say these are the factors. Factors meaning, let's say this is sugar. Okay. This is a tea powder. This is milk. And this is water. Okay. This is the time of how much time, basically. So all these are factors and you want to just tweak with them. And here you will observe there is a minus sign and there is a plus sign. Okay. There is a minus sign, there is a plus sign, etc. So what is minus sign and what is plus sign? Just try to understand this. Now, every factor, they decide a range in which that factor will be played. For example, let's say for sugar, they will decide 1 tablespoon, we just write in white, 1 tablespoon and 2 tablespoons. So one time they will put only 1 tablespoon in 1 cup of tea, and second time they will put 2 tablespoons of sugar. Okay. So 1 tablespoon will be called as minus, and 2 tablespoon will be called as plus. Okay. Similarly, tea powder, let's say half a cup, or sorry, half a tablespoon and full tablespoon, let's say. Okay. So half a tablespoon will be called as minus, full tablespoon will be called as plus. Similarly, milk will be, let's say half a cup of milk will be minus and full cup of milk will be plus. Are you clear, everybody? So they decide a range in which they will experiment with. Clear hai ye? So they will decide the factors which will play the role, and then they will decide every factor within this range only. Clear hai? Just type yes in the chat box. Have you understood this minus plus wala thing? Minus is the lower setting, plus is the higher setting. Clear? Now, how this experiment used to be run? So trial 1 used to be all factors set at the negative side, or which is on the lower side, which is minus, minus, minus. And then they will check, let's say test. They want to check the test, right? So they will check the test. So they will put sugar at 1, tea powder at half a spoon, milk at the half a cup, water at whatever. Yes. So they will all put the setting at the lower setting, and they will run. And then they will check the test. Then comes the second one. What is O factor? O fact meaning one factor at a time. After that, they will change the factor number 1. Okay, they will change the factor number 1. And rest all the factors will be kept as it is. Understand this? Only factor number 1 will be changed. Clear? And then they will check the test. After that, the second factor will be changed. After that, the third factor, then the fourth factor, then the fifth factor, and then the sixth factor and the seventh factor. Similarly, one factor will be changed and remaining factors will be kept at the lower setting. Are you clear? This is called one factor at a time design. Still, lot of experiments are done in this fashion. Still today, as we are speaking today. Clear with this experimental type? Just type yes in the chat box. This is called one factor time experiments. Just give me yes if you have understood how it is done. Clear hai? So every run, every trial, you just change one factor and keeping all the other factor constant. It is called OFAT design, or one factor at a time design. There is another advanced version of OFAT, and that is called keeper strategy. What is that? Keeper strategy. Let me explain you that. Now, keeper strategy is exactly the OFAT strategy only. Only thing is that, let's say trial 1, all, minus, 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 then they will check the response. Okay. Then the second trial, they will change the first factor, and remaining all the factors will be kept at minus, minus only. And they will see the response is changed, response has improved. And they're expecting the response to improve, right? That means factor number 1, that means the factor number 1, when I'm changing to higher setting, response is increasing, correct? So factor number 1 is helping the response to go up, correct? So what we will do, keeper meaning they will keep that setting. So they will keep that higher setting of factor number 1 for rest of the experimental trials. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Clear hai ye? Have you understood this? Even one setting a change that improvement has brought, they will keep that setting as it is on the higher side. Clear? Just give me yes. Now coming back to the third trial. So second trial mein improvement mila. Let's come to the third trial. Third trial, now they will keep first factor as it is. They will keep the second factor on the plus side. Okay. Then remaining will be minus, minus only. But in this case, the response has reduced. It has gone down. When the response is gone down, they will never keep this factor at the higher setting. They will keep this factor at the lower setting for all the experiments. Are you keeping? Are you understanding? So whichever response, whichever factor increase is increasing the response, they will keep that setting. Whichever factor is reducing, okay, they will not, they will not keep that setting. So they will reverse the setting and keep it constant. And this is called the keeper strategy. Are you clear? So whichever factor changes giving us the positive result, they will keep that setting as it is and move ahead. And this is called keeper strategy. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. You can see here as well from, from 187 to 2, they have brought some change. So they have just kept this as constant. Okay, this is called keeper strategy. Clear? Just give me yes. Super yes. Okay. So one factor at a time and keeper strategy is clear. Now let's take this experiment. Okay, let's do this experiment. So one of the Six Sigma team, they wanted to basically increase the mileage of the vehicle from 18 kilometer per liter, 18 kilometer per liter to 30 kilometer per liter. Okay, the car gas mileage. So it was running by a gas, okay, just like CNG, etc. Now, the team brainstormed and found out all the causes. And the causes were this: the brand of the gas, the octane rating. Okay, octane rating is nothing but the power of the gas, you can say. Okay, the speed of the driving, which is drive slower. Tune up of the car, tune up meaning the maintenance of the car, whether the car is maintained properly. Wash and wax car. Okay, tires, the condition of the tires and pressure of the tire. So these are the main factors, out of which the red ones like this: octane rating, speed of the driving and tire pressure, according to them, they are critical factors according to their experience. Clear, everybody? Understood the scenario? So they wanted their car mileage from 18 kilometer per liter to 30 kilometer per liter. And these are the 8 to 9 causes or factors, out of which they have identified 3 critical factors according to their experience. Okay, let's move ahead. Then what they did, they conducted this experiment called OFAT or keeper strategy. Okay, how they did that? Just try to understand this. So first they identified the 3 critical factors: speed, which is first factor, correct? Speed, octane and tire pressure. Now, for speed, they have identified 55 and 60 as the limit, the range. Okay, so 55 was the negative setting and 60 was a positive setting, which is higher setting. Okay, octane was 85 and 90. So 85 was a lower setting and 90 was the higher setting. Tire pressure was 30 and 35. So 30 was lower setting and 35 was the higher setting. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Everybody with me? Got it? And their target is to reach to 30 kilometers per liter. 30 kmpl pe pahunchna hai. That's the target. Okay. Now they started running the show. They did the first experiment. All right. Now the first experiment was all lower setting, right? That's what they did. 55, 85 and 30. And they found that they got 23 kilometer per liter. There was an improvement from 18 to 23. Yes, there was an improvement. Yes. Okay. Now, after that, the second one. So they changed this first factor. Remaining 2 factors were kept at negative. Okay. And they got a jump from 23 close to very, very well close to the target, which is 29, right? So what they did, they found that the moment I increase the speed, and it is logical as well, right? See, when we drive on the highways, our mileage is going up. And when we driving in our city traffic, our mileage goes down. Yes, very logical. So from 55 to 60, they got a very good mileage. Okay, so then what they did, they kept that 60 as constant. So OFAT. Okay, OFAT at a time, which is OFAT with keeper strategy, right? Then in the third run, they change this setting to positive and this is negative only. So, but they got some reduction in the result. So they again change back to the original setting and then they change the third one and they got some kind of improvement. So what is the best setting in this? Type in the chat box. Out of this, what is the best setting? Type in the chat box. Everybody. Out of these 4 runs, what is the best setting? Very logical. Second setting, which has brought 29 kilometer per liter, which is very close to the target. Clear? This way they have done the experiment. All right. Now what happened? What happened? There was one person who attended SNG's design of experimentation who went to them and said that you have not tested all the permutation combination. Have they tested all the permutation? Type in the chat box. Have they tested? Have they tested all the permutation combinations? Yes. How many permutations combinations can happen here? How many permutations can happen? Type in the chat box. In this setup, where you have 3 factors and every factor at the 2 levels, this negative and positive are the 2 levels. How many permutations can happen? 6, 3. Okay, tell me, type in the chat box. How many permutations can happen here? How many combinations you can test? 10. Okay. Right now they tested 4, right? Very good. So the formula to calculate the permutations, it's called as, write this down, L raised to F. Write this down. L raised to F, where L is equal to levels and F is equal to factors. L meaning levels. Here you can see all the factors are having 2 levels. Yes or no? Minus and plus. Everybody has 2 levels. Every factor. Yes or no? So we have got 2 levels and there are 3 factors. So it means 2 raised to 3 is equal to 8. So we can have 8 different combinations in this setting, but they have only tested 4. And that's what that person told them. And then they realize, yes, let's test all the remaining factors, remaining combination as well. And that's what they did. Okay. So remember L raised to F. Write this down in your notepad. The formula to calculate the number of combination or number of runs, which is a very important formula for DOE. Yahan tak everybody clear? Just type yes in the chat box. So even though they found improvement, but they have not tested all the permutation and combination, and now they want to go for that. Everybody's clear till now? Just give me yes in the chat box. Super clear till now? Just give me yes, no. Very good, super. Chalo, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Then, rather than randomly picking up, they did a full factorial experiment, which is L raised to F, 8 runs. Okay. And they did the run. And now look at this. What they found was out of this world. Earlier, 29 was the highest KMPL, which is the average, right? Now they have got 37, 37, and 36. Even beyond their target, they have gone. And this is called full factorial 8 runs. Now, how do you make this 8 runs? Just try to understand. I'll give you a simple formula. You can also simply make this full factorial design. How you can do it? Understand this. For the first run, this is the first factor, speed. The second factor, octane. And the third factor, tire pressure. Correct? And this is your Y, which is your output, which is the average. Correct? Now, the first factor has to be changed. Let me write down the factors here, which is lower setting is 55, higher setting is 60. For octane, lower setting is 85 and higher setting is 90. And for tire pressure, lower setting is 30 and the higher setting is 35. Clear? So how the experimental design has to be created? The first factor, the speed here, this column. Okay. First it will be minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, and plus. That means for every run, you have to change this first factor alternately. Minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. Are you clear? The second factor will be changed after every two alternate runs. Like for example, minus, minus, plus, plus, minus, minus, plus, plus. And the third factor will be changed after every 4 runs. For example, minus, 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 plus, 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 plus. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. So the first factor changes in every run. Second factor changes after every 2 runs. Third factor changes after every 4 runs. Clear? Simple. 1, 2, 4. Clear hai? Just give me yes in the chat box. Have you understood this? And this is called a full factorial design. Now imagine I have 4 factors with 2 levels each. How many number of runs will be there? I have already given the formula of number of runs. If this is more than what will we do? Exactly, that's what my question. Let's try to understand the question. Let's say I have got 4 factor. Okay, I've got 4 factor. So what will be the number of runs? So the formula is L raised to F, correct? So levels are 2 only, raised to 4 is equal to 16. So it will happen exactly double. Okay. So what will happen to the 4th factor? So imagine the first factor changes after every 1. Second factor changes after every 2 runs. Third factor changes after every 4 runs. Yes. The 4th factor will change after every 8 runs. After every 8 runs, it will be like minus, 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 and then plus, 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 plus. Are you clear with this? So 1, 2, 4, 8. The 5th factor will be 16. Are you clear? This is a simple formula. This is called full factorial design. Funda clear hai? Just give me yes in the chat box. Fundamental clear? Super clear with this fundamental? Just give me yes. Clear ho gaya? Very good. Let's do one thing. Open your Minitab worksheet, any Minitab worksheet, blank Minitab worksheet. Open that. Now we will create this, this factorial design in the Minitab. Okay, because the experimental design has to be created in the Minitab. Let me show you that. Let's open any Minitab blank worksheet. Once you have opened it, let me know. Open. Done? Any blank worksheet have you opened? Just give me the confirmation. Okay. Chalo, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Now we will create the same design in the Minitab. Okay. Go to stat. The 4th option is DOE, which is design of experiments. Factorial. Create factorial design. Just go with this path. Stat DOE. Factorial. Create factorial design. Everybody got it? Just give me yes in the chat box. All right. Yes. So this window will appear. Okay. Now the type of design, it says 2-level factorial. So we have 2 levels, right? Right now we have 2 levels, correct? So we will use the same setting here. In the number of factors, we will say 3 factors. Because we want 3 factors, correct? 3 factors. Clear, everybody? Now, go to designs, or let's see what is there in the display available. Okay, इसमें जाने की जरूरत नहीं. Go to designs. Now, right now, there are 2 options it is giving. I go back again. Understand this. I go back again. Go to stat DOE factorial create factorial design. This window will appear 2-level factorial. Just keep it as it is by default. Number of factors instead of 2, let's select to 3 because we have 3 factors with us. Okay. Go to design. In the design, we have 2 options: half fraction and full factorial. Right now, we are conducting full factorial design, which says 8 runs, resolution full, and 2 raised to 3, which is L raised to F. 2 levels raised to 3. Okay. Now, number of center points, replicates, वगैरह वगैरह, number of blocks, यहाँ पे कुछ भी मत करो, ऐसे ही रहने दो. Say okay. All right. Yes. Now this window has come. Before coming to OK, just click on factors. Here, you can put all the factors which are there. Okay. Whichever factors are there, those factors you can put. For example, factor number A, what was the factor number A for us? The factor number A was, what is that? Octane. Right? So octane was there. Octane was numeric value. So octane rating was whatever was rating. Okay. I'm just giving some random numbers, guys. Okay. So it was 30. No, I did tire pressure was 30. Right. So octane rating was 60 and let's say 70. I'm just giving some random rating. So lower setting was 60 and higher setting was 70. Then the next one was speed. Again, it's a numeric value. What was the speed? So the speed was 60 kilometer and let's say 100 kilometers. I'm just giving you random numbers. And the third one was, what was the third one? तीसरा क्या था? Let me just check quickly. Speed, octane, tire pressure, 30 and 35. Okay. So it was tire pressure. Let me just go back. Yes. So the third was tire pressure. Okay. I will just write TP, which is tire pressure numeric, 30 and 35. Okay. Now what we have done is we have put our factors here, lower setting and higher setting, and say okay. And go to option. As of now, let's not randomize the runs. Let's not uncheck this. Go to option here. Go to option and do not randomize it. Okay, do not randomize. Say okay and say okay. How many of you got this? Just type yes in the chat box. Have you got this, everybody? Just type yes in the chat box. Then you have to run this. So let's understand this. Let's see this octane rating. It is changing after every one run, right? 60, 70, 60, 70, 60, 70, 60, 70. So after every one run, it is changing. Speed is changing after every 2 setting. Can you see? After every 2 runs. 60, 60, 100, 100. 60, 60, 100, 100. Okay. And tire pressure after every 4 setting, it is changing. 30, 30, 30, 30, 35, 35, 35, 35. Okay. In this column, we will write our result, which is kilometer per liter. And then we will run this experiment. And here we will put our reading. And then we will do the analysis. Clear, everybody? How to create the design manually and how to create the design with the help of Minitab. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Everybody clear with this? Just give me yes. Super clear? Amazing, amazing. So we have understood one factor at a time design. We have understood the keeper strategy, which is one step ahead. We have understood the reactive way and proactive way of collecting the data. This is the proactive way of doing the experiments. Okay. Then we have seen that, if we have not covered all the permutation, we may not get the best result. And that's why we have learned a formula called L raised to F, which is level raised to factor, which is giving number of runs. Okay, so 2 raised to 3 is equal to 8. So 8 number of runs which are there. And this experimental design is called as full factorial design. Okay, once we basically, made the design. So design changes like this. Every first factor will change after every run. Okay, minus plus minus plus. Second factor will change after every 2 runs, minus minus plus plus minus minus plus plus. And the third factor after every 4 runs. Okay, minus 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 plus 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 plus. And then we learned how to create that design with the help of Minitab. Yes, so I've just summarized whatever we have seen in last almost 50 minutes. Clear, everybody? Shall we move ahead? Let's go deeper into DOE. Let's understand various types of factors and some other terminology used in DOE. Then we will do a experiment, okay? And then we will see the analysis of the experiment, okay? Chalo, so let's understand the terminology. Let's understand the terminology of DOE. The first one is called experiment. Okay, very simple. Experiment is a methodical procedure of collecting data in a structured manner, okay, for further analysis and validate assumption. Okay, this is as a hypothesis basically. So this is the entire experiment. We call it as that 8 runs are called as entire experiment. Second one is called response. Response is nothing but our outcome, which is Y. Simple. That is what we have to calculate. It can be test of T. It can be test of sandwich. It can be the KMPL, which is the average. Okay. Then the factors. Factors are all the parameters which are impacting. Everybody remember Y is equal to function of X, right? So all these X's are nothing but a factor. That's what factor is called as X. So we have to list all the factors like speed, feed, coolant, operator skill, all these things like octane rating, tire pressure, speed of driving. All these things are the factors. All right. After that comes is the levels. Okay. So levels meaning the lowest level and the highest level, which is the alternative values of the factor considered in the experiment, which are called as levels. We have seen that, right? Levels. There are 2 levels we have seen. And then trials. Trials meaning the number of runs. So runs and the trials are the same thing. Number of trials are called number of runs. Okay. And what is the formula? L raised to F. Correct. Now here is the catch. For example, let's understand this. The first question is why we should keep only 3 factors. Why cannot we take 5 factors? Okay. Now let's do this experiment. When we have 2 levels and 3 factors, 2 raised to 3, we had 8 number of runs. Let's take, what if I take 5 factors into consideration, the formula will be the same, 2 raised to 5. What will be the answer for this? What will be the answer for this? Type in the chat box. 2 raised to 5 is equal to 32. Absolutely right. Are you observing? So as the number of factors are increasing, the number of runs are exponentially increasing. So as number of runs are exponentially increasing, obviously efforts will increase, resource will increase, money will increase, time will increase. Yes or no? Let's do the another experiment. Why only 2 levels? I want to check 3 levels. Lower setting, medium setting, higher setting. What will happen? The same formula, L raised to F. Let's say 3 raised to 3. What is the answer? 27. Let's say I want to put 4 levels. 4 raised to 3, let's say. What will be the answer? Are you understanding this? So, with this experiment, guys, understand this. With this experiment, Either you change the levels or you change the factors. The number of runs will go exponentially very high. Have you understood this? Just type yes in the chat box. Either you change levels or you change the factors. It goes exponentially very high, which will consume a lot of your resources. Management will never give you permission to do experiments like this. कौन सी मैनेजमेंट आपको परमिशन देगा प्रोसेस के साथ खेलने के लिए इतना टाइम? थोड़े टाइम के लिए देगा, राइट? But not for 32 runs and 64 runs. Correct? Are you understanding? It can create some problem in this process, correct? Unstabilize the process. So when you select the number of factors and number of runs, make sure. So while number of levels, understand this, number of levels. So you select the highest and the lowest level. Don't select any level in between. That's it. Because in between levels, we can easily identify. Just select the highest level and the lowest level. You require some kind of process knowledge, some domain knowledge requirement is there. Understand this? Okay. So lower and the higher level is required. So level, keep it as 2. What about the factors? Only select the important factors. Everybody knows 80-20 principle, right? Let's say out of 10 factors, only 2 factors will make 80% impact. Yes or no? So you have to select those 2 factors for the experiment, because those are the 2 factors which are very, very impact making. Clear? Yes, understand this. Very, very important. So those factors you require some kind of process knowledge to identify those factors. Clear? Everybody understood? Just type yes in the chat box. Yahan tak clear hai? Now, there are 3 types of factors. One is called experimental factors. The factors which are really critical, make them experimental factors. The factors which are less critical, make them control factor or constant factor. Keep them constant. Don't change them. Only experimental factors we will select for the experiment. Are you understanding? Key factors, experimental factors are those who we really experiment with by varying them at different levels. So we know that these are the critical factors. Okay. And the third one are called noise factors. Noise factors are the factors which neither can be changed nor can be fixed. For example, this is something like out of control. Like in an uncontrolled environment, temperature, environmental temperature, environmental humidity cannot be controlled in the uncontrolled environment. Yes or no? Correct? In a controlled environment, yes, we can control temperature, we can control humidity, but not in the uncontrolled environment. So in the uncontrolled environment, this will be noise factors. Clear? In the uncontrolled environment, there will be like wind flow. Wind flow will be uncontrolled, correct? We cannot have the control on the wind, right? So it will be a noise factor. Are you clear? So experimental, control, and the noise factor. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Clear hai, everybody? Just give me yes. Very good. Very good. So experimental, control, and noise factor. Okay. Now, apart from that, there is another factor which is important. And that factor is called as lurking factor. I'll give you example of lurking factor. Okay. Now, in the Sanjay, Ajay, Vijay example, Sanjay, Vijay, Ajay example, these are the 3 experimental factors. Understand this? I'm just correlating now. In Sanjay, Vijay, Ajay example, these 3 are the experimental factor. Remaining factors, remaining students are the control factor. They are constant. They are not considered in the experiment. But there is noise factor. Noise factor meaning, noise factors, for example, let's say mood of Sia is a noise factor. We cannot have any control over it. Are you understanding? That is uncontrollable factor. Aaj mood अच्छा नहीं है तो smile नहीं किया. Let me give you lurking factor in that. Understand this? In 1 or 2 occasions where Ajay was there, Sia didn't smile. Have you observed this? Just type yes or no in the chat box. Have you observed this? Yes? Have you seen that experiment? Even Ajay was alone. At that point in time also, Sia didn't smile. Now, what happened there? There could be her elder brother or her father or mother could be standing behind her, yes or no? How many of you got it? Are you understanding this? And this is exactly I am calling as lurking factors. Those factors which we never consider in our experiment. Noise factor, understand the difference between lurking and the noise. Noise meaning we know, but we can't control. Lurking are unknown factors. We don't know that we don't know. वो 3 बच्चों को पता भी नहीं था उसके पीछे उसका भाई बड़ा भाई हो सकता है इसलिए वो शायद स्माइल नहीं कर रही है. Are you understanding? That is called lurking. I'll give you a classic example of lurking factor. And that's a real example. One of the chicken feed company. What is chicken feed? You know, in the poultry farm. All right. So, like for example, when we go to gym, right? So the gym trainer suggests some extra nutrients. You know, some extra. What do you call that? Extra nutrient food. Yes. What do you call? Something like protein powders, right? Supplement. Yes, that's what the word I was looking for. So extra supplement, right? Just to tone up your body, etc. Right? Extra supplement, extra protein kind of. So they sell some powder. Right? Cross-selling hota hai unka. Anyway, okay. So one of the company in US, and this is a real story, yeah, by the way. This is not something. This is a real story. So one of the company which was making the supplements for chicken, the poultry farm chickens, and their brand what is promise was we can increase the weight of your chicken in 1 month. In 1 month your poultry your chicken's weight will increase maybe by 50%. Okay, so what they did, they selected a poultry farm. Let's say this is the poultry farm. Okay, they divided that poultry farm. In one part of the poultry farm they kept on doing the giving the old feed, and on the other side of the poultry farm, they gave the new feed. Okay. All right. After 1 month, those scientists came back and they checked the weight of old and new. And to their surprise, what they found was the old chicken have gained weight and the new chicken, the new feed chicken lost weight. Is exactly opposite result they got. Not even they maintained the weight, they reduced the weight. And it was a big shocker for them. So they sat for the brainstorming for this. So they called up their employees, you know, the poultry farm employees, the owner of the poultry farm, all the scientists sat together, supervisors sat together. And they, you know, they were just thinking what happened, why this feed was not, because they were very confident about their feed. Then they realized one thing. What was one thing? On this side, on the where the new feed was given, on this side, there was something very interesting area. That area is called as slaughterhouse. And the slaughterhouse was exactly adjacent to the area where the new feed was given. Now, in the slaughterhouse, what used to happen every morning? There used to be few chickens were taken out and those few chickens were slaughtered. And that was creating, yes, exactly, that was creating a mental pressure. And that area chicken used to run around in the cage, you know, rapidly and very wildly. And because of that extra activity, their hormonal imbalance and their stress level, they used to reduce their weight. And when they realized this, and then they changed the experimentation, and then they give the, and this slaughterhouse presence is called a lurking factor. Are you clear with these two examples? With Sia's example and the slaughterhouse examples, have you understood the lurking factors? Just type yes in the chat box. Clear hai everybody? Just type yes in the chat box. Very good. So these are different types of factors you need to consider in your experiment. Okay. Now, how do we deal with lurking factors? Right? To deal with lurking factors, what we do is we do replication and randomization. What is replication? Replication meaning we repeat the same reading again. For example, let me just go back to that factorial design. Okay, let's look at this. Let's say replication meaning these are the 8 runs, right? These are the 8 runs. I will repeat the 8 runs again. And let's say, for example, if this is run number 1, 55, speed, octane, 85, and tire pressure 30, I am getting 23 kmpl. In the second run, if I get around 23 only, maybe 22 or 21 or 24, around 23, that means there is a least possibility of a lurking variable. Let's say if I get 30 kmpl, that means there is some lurking variable either in the first experiment or in the second experiment. Are you understanding this? Just type yes. This is called replication. Replication समझ में आया? You have to repeat the same experiment again so that you can check whether any difference is there, significant difference. Clear? Small difference we can understand, it can be an experimental difference, but if the difference is very high, then we can we can test, we can check what happened. Okay, that is called replication. Second one is called randomization. Now, what is randomization? Randomization is nothing but we don't run with this. Okay, do you remember this? Let me go back to our Minitab worksheet. While creating this, how many of you observe one thing? I went to option and I unchecked this randomized runs. Yes or no? How many of you remember? So if I check this randomized runs and say okay, that means, look at this. Now, my runs are randomized. See, let me show you this. Runs are randomized. Now, this is no more first factor as minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. You can see here 60, 60, 60, 60, 70, 70. So, it has randomized. Second factor is 100, 100, 160. So, it has completely randomized this. Okay. Third factor is 30, 35, 30, 35, 35, 35, 30. So, there is sequence has been completely randomized. Mixed. Why mixing is important? To remove the bias from the experiment. Okay. So, replication and randomization is very important in the design of experimentation. So, we never do only 8 runs. We replicate and do for L raised to F, 2 raised to 3 design. We don't run only 8. We run 16 experiments. Are you clear? Just type yes in the chat box. Clear hai everybody? Just give me yes. So we randomize it and we replicate it as well. And then we create this. Okay. Clear? Now, how do we do that? Go back to this. Randomization आपको समझ में आया? Just click on OK. Go to factors. Factors तो सेम ही है. Go to designs. Okay. यहां पे आपको देखेंगे number of replicates 1 है. यहां पे हमें 2 करना है. In the designs, go to number of replicates and select at 2 and say OK and say OK. Now we have got, if you observe here, we have got 16 runs which are completely randomized and replicated as well. Clear everybody? These are 16 runs you can see. You can check out that. You can go back, go to option, randomize it. Just check on this box to randomize. Go to design. Just select this number of replicates 2 from 1. Just convert it to 2 and say OK and say OK. And you will find a randomized design being created. Yes, everybody, just type yes in the chat box. Clear hai? Yes? Fantastic. Now let's check the practical application of this. Okay. एक experiment design करके देखते हैं. So this is the full factorial design. We have seen that. minus plus minus plus minus plus minus plus minus minus plus. So remember this sequence. Okay, very simple. Then let's take one case. Okay, let's take one case of sandwich. Okay, let's trigger some hunger today. We are always hungry for learning. Let's have some hunger for sandwich as well. So Hotel Grand wants to enhance the taste of their sandwich. Okay, now they have, so their chefs created all the what you can say, what is it, brainstorming, and they selected brand of size of brand, the brand of bread, sorry, size of bread, okay, brand of butter, quantity of potato, onion, salt, metal of oven temperature, time of cooking, skill level of the person. All these are the factors which will impact the sandwich. Okay, but according to them, there will be few critical factors only. So what they did, they identified they identified four critical factors. What are the four critical factors? Oven temperature, brand of bread, quantity of onion, and time of cooking. Because sandwich is a small thing, okay, and anyway, it's very small and cheap kind of product, not very expensive product. So they decided, let's go for four factors. Now, when we say four factors, how many runs will be required? Type in the chat box. The formula is L raised to F, right? So how many runs will be required? 2 raised to 4. How many runs? Are you clear? 16 runs. Now, with replication, how many runs will be required? Replication meaning you have to run the experiment again. So with replication, it will be 32. Clear hai? Everybody clear? So 2 levels and 4 factors, 16 runs with 2 replicates, meaning double you have to run it again. There will be 32 runs or 32 trials you have to take. So they have decided, for example, oven temperature, the lower setting is 30, higher setting as, sorry, lower setting is 57, higher setting is 60. Okay. Brand of bread. Now this is very interesting. Now this brand of bread is a text data, right? It's a quantitative data, qualitative data. It's not quantitative data. So the beauty of design of experiments is we can check with discrete or attribute type of data as well, like brand of bread, Wibs and Britannia. Or you can have high and low setting as well. If you have a discrete data, you can also include discrete data in DOE. Very interesting observation. Then quantity of onion. Higher setting is at 2 and the lower setting is at 1 piece. So in one sandwich, they will put only 1 piece of onion. In the second sandwich, they will put 2 pieces of onion. Okay. And then time of cooking. The higher setting is at 5 and the lower setting is at 3. So all these factors, they have decided as E for experimental factor. Okay. And C for constant factor. You can see here all these factors are constant. That means size of bread will be medium. Butter will be Amul. Quantity of potato will be 2. Amount of salt, only 1 gram will be used. And metal of the oven will be kept at standard. So all these experimentation will be kept at constant, and skill of the person is a noise factor. As of now, they don't have any control on the skill. Whoever is the chef, they will consider that. So there is no control on the skill of the person. Are you clear with this experimental design? Just type yes in the chat box. Experiment clear hai? Just type yes. Okay, clear? Now, because we already have understood how to create the experimental design, okay, we will not replicate the same thing. I will just share you a file and we will try to check how we can do the experimental run. So let's just open this file called Minitab sandwich. Just open this file called Minitab Sandwich. Okay. Once you opened it, let me know in the chat box. Okay. Open. Just give me yes in the chat box quickly. Now, in this experiment, we have got L raised to F, meaning 2 raised to 4, 16 runs with replication 32 runs. Okay, so it is already randomized. It is already replicated. So there are 4 factors: oven temperature, brand of bread, quantity of onion, time of cooking. And this is the Y called test. So I have already given you the test rating or test numbers given. So this is Y is also already covered. Okay. Now we will see how do we basically analyze that experiment. So analysis करने के लिए हम लोग सीखेंगे now. ठीक है? Are you clear? Okay. So let's, how do we analyze this? Go to stat. DOE factorial, analyze factorial design. Stat DOE factorial, analyze factorial design. Okay. Now, by the way, this will take another 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes. Do you want to take a quick break before we start analysis? Because then we will go a little deeper. Do you want to take a quick break of 5 to 10 minutes? Just give me yes or no in the chat box. Or do we continue for, because I don't want the disruption in between. Clear? Let's do this. Let's take a quick break and we will be back by 8:25. Okay. हम लोग 8:25 को वापस आएंगे. ठीक है? Clear everybody? Right? Just take a quick break. Take a grab a coffee, freshen yourself, and then we'll be back in 8 to 9 minutes. Okay, 9 minutes. 8:25 में आएंगे. बाद में हम लोग एक्सपेरिमेंट को एनालिसिस सीखेंगे. ठीक है? या एंजॉय योर कॉफी बाय दैट टाइम. Okay, is everybody back? Just give me yes in the chat box. Yes. Okay, just give me yes, 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 yes. Confirmation. Super, super. Now let's start our remaining part, which is design of experimentation analysis. Very, very important part. Okay, ready? So just open the file. Now go to stat, DOE, factorial, analyze factorial design. Stat, DOE, factorial, analyze factorial design. Everybody just follow this path, please. Open the file which was given to you before the break. Stat, DOE, factorial, analyze factorial design. Just click on this. In the responses, you need to just select the test. All right. Everybody just select the test and say okay. So you might have got multiple graphs like this. Yes or no? Have you got these graphs? Just give me yes or no in the chat box, everybody. I repeat the procedure once again. Go to stat, DOE, factorial, analyze factorial design. Just click on that. You will get those kinds of. Click on that. Then this window will come. Just select test and click on OK. These three graphs will come. Let's go one by one. The first one is called residual plot. Now try to understand what is residual. Now here, all our hypothesis testing, regression, statistics, everything will coincide in DOE analysis. Let's try to understand this. Here we have to understand the regression. Okay. In our regression analysis, if you remember, we have seen the line of best fit. And on the line of best fit, around that, there were data points. Yes or no, everybody? Some data points were on the lower side. Some data points were on the higher side of the line of best fit, correct? Now, so understand it. So let's say this is the actual data point and this is the data point on line of best fit. In between, the distance is called as residual or error. This is called residual. So let's say this is R1, this is R2, this is R3. The distance between actual point and the point of line of best fit, it's called residual. And if I collect the data of the residual, some residuals will be positive, some residuals will be negative. And if I collect the data and I put them in the Minitab software, understand this, sir? Just for your understanding, I will put them in the Minitab software. I will get this kind of a histogram. Is it a symmetrical histogram? Just type yes or no in the chat box. Is it symmetrical histogram? Yes, no, everybody. Is it looking symmetrical? Very good. Now, if you remember normality test, in normality test, we did two things. One is the histogram, just to check whether how the, the data distribution looking like graphically. But then we do the Anderson-Darling normality test. So this is the normality test, normal probability plot, which is also indicating the data is normally distributed. Otherwise, it would have been something like this, a curvature. But right now, it is exactly flowing along with the line of best fit. That is also indication that the data is normal. Okay. In the green belt level, we have understood SNC. How many of you remember SNC? Type in the chat box. Do you remember SNC, which we have learned in the green belt level? what is the sequence of operations before process capability? Correct? S for stability, N for normality, and C for capability. For the new member, just make a note of this. S for stability. What is stability? Stability is nothing but exactly stability, normality, capability. Correct? So before capability analysis, we do stability and normality. So this part is stability, which is the control chart. Stability is done with the control chart. And normality is done with histogram and normal probability plot. So this is normality test. These two graphs are normality test. And these two graphs are stability check for this. And we are observing there is no much difference. Okay, here control chart also. Both these graphs are between 2, -2 and +2 standard deviation. So it is very much controlled process. This is the plots for the residual. This is called residual analysis. So what does it indicate? There is no abnormality because there is a stability and there is normality. When you can find stability and normality, it is indication that there is no lurking variable present, no abnormality present in the model. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. This is the way you can find the abnormality. If there is any lurking variable, you can find some abnormality in the normality and the stability of the data of, of the residual analysis. Clear? Just type yes in the chat box. Are you clear with this explanation? Okay, very good. Once this residual plot is done, then we will check the next plot, which is called as this one, which is called as normal plot for standardized effect. Now let's see what is standardized effect. On the x-axis, standardized effect. On the y-axis, there is something called percentile. Green belt certified people, do you remember percentile we learned during the box plot analysis? Do you remember that? The quartile and percentile calculation we learn. How many of you remember? Just give me yes in the chat box, right? Remember quartile and percentile? So this on the y-axis is percentile. Cake example. Wow, you remember that example, huh? Very nice, superb. Cake example, which is my favorite example. Okay. And on the x-axis, it's called standardized effect. What is standardized effect? Standardized effect is nothing but effect divided by standard deviation. It's called standardized effect. Okay, let's not get into the detail of this. What is the most important? In this graph, the red dots are called as significant contributors and the blue dots are called as non-significant contributors. So if you see here, so dot number C and dot number D are actually significant contributors. Here, what is dot number C? C is quantity of onion and D is time of cooking. And remaining all the dots are not significant right now. So what are these dots, by the way? What are these dots? Very interesting. Okay. In this design of experimentation, we basically analyze multiple factors here. For example, let's understand this. There are multiple factors we are analyzing here. What are those multiple factors? Let me write down here. Where am I? Okay, here. Let's say there are some main effect or some main factors. Okay. What are the main factors? A, B, C, and D are the main factors here, which is oven temperature, brand of bread, quantity of onion, time of cooking. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Are you clear? Main factor hai isme? Main factor impacting our test. Just give me yes. Okay. After main factor, there is two-way interaction. Two-way interaction. What is two-way interaction? Try to understand this. Now, when I have, let's say, 4 factors, let's take a case of, let's try to understand with a case of taste of tea. Understand this. You have sugar, you have water, you have milk, and you have tea powder. Let's imagine these are 4 factors. Okay. Now tell me, is there any effect of sugar and water together on my Y? Can it happen? Just type yes in the chat box. Just type yes or no in the chat box. Sugar and water together also can impact my taste. Sugar and milk together also can impact my taste. Are you understanding this? Yes or no? Okay. Water and milk. अगर मैंने पानी ज्यादा डाल दिया, obviously the taste will change. The water and milk also will have the together impact on my Y. So that means there is a two-way interaction. For example, like AB interaction, AC interaction, AD interaction, right? Then you have got BC interaction and BD interaction. There will be 6 or 5. कितने होंगे? AB, AC, AD, BC and BD. Sorry, BD and then CD. There will be 6 interaction, which are called two-way interaction. Are you understanding this? Those also will be studied in this design of experiments. That is the power of this. Then there are three-way interactions, like for example, ABC, okay, ABD, then you have got BCD, and there are so many other factors like three-way interaction. Then there are four-way interaction like ABCD. All together. Are you understanding? So there are various levels of interactions which are being studied, and those are basically shown in these blue dots as well. You might be wondering that there are only 4 factors, right? Then why are these dots are there? So those dots are there because of these are interactions also there. Okay, let's go back to the effect of the Pareto. So we have, let's consider the Pareto effect. Just double click on that. Here, you will understand all these factors. Okay, main effect, two-way. You can see here, C, D, and A. These are the main effect. CD is a two-way interaction. ABCD, the four-way interaction. BCD, ABC, ACD, these are three-way interactions. Are you understanding? Okay, out of which this is called line of significance, and any factor which is crossing line of significance is called a critical factor. For this, factor number C and factor number D, which is crossing the line of significance, is basically our critical factors in this experiment. Are you clear with this? The same thing which we are observing in the probability plot here. If you go back, let me just go back to the probability plot. The same thing, C and D, which are in red, which are critical factors. C is a little farther away from the line of significance. D is closer to line of significance, but still it is boundary line critical. Okay, the same thing which can see here. The D is very close to line of significance, and C is farther from line of significance, but both are very critical. Are you clear? Just type yes or no in the chat box. Clear hai? So in this experiment, what we are getting is only C and D is critical factors. Clear? Now, if you observe very closely factor number A, which is very close to line of significance. How many of you are observing this? So very close. It's like, you know, if you have 40% passing mark, he has scored 38%. Very close of passing. Clear? D has scored 45%, but A has scored 38%. Very close. But it is technically not critical factor. But we should consider, we should understand the nitty-gritties of it. Okay. Now let's go back to sessions window. Where is sessions window? Here. So show session folder. The short key is Control Alt M. Control Alt M, or show sessions folder. Just click on that and just scroll it up. And you will find, first of all, yeah, here you will find a huge regression equation. Can you find a huge regression equation of y is equal to a plus b? The same thing with all the factors put in. Okay, one factor, two-way interaction, three-way interaction, four-way interaction, all factors put together, this is a huge regression equation. But we don't need the insignificant factor here. Okay, so first understand this. If you scroll it up, okay, look at this. If you scroll it up, you can come to this. Let's look at these terms. Okay, now just observe this. Everybody, you've got this sessions folder, right? Sessions window open hua? Just give me yes. Anybody behind, let me know. You just have to click here. Just see my cursor. Once you click on this cursor, this sessions window will open. All right. Now, just observe this. Just observe this. Okay. So, here is oven temperature. Okay. Now look at this P value, guys. Now understand this. Any factor which P value of the factor is less than 0.05, that factor is called as critical factor or important factor. Understand this. Now let's go one by one. The first one is oven temperature, which is 0.063. You remember the factor A is oven temperature, very close to 0.05, but it is not critical. Okay. Brand of bread is 0.743, not critical. Quantity of onion is 0.000. If you remember, this is the most critical factor. The next one is time of cooking, which is 0.017. This is another critical factor. Okay. So oven temperature, quantity of onion, and time of cooking. Oven temperature, even though it is a slight above 0.05, but we can still consider because it's very close to that. Okay. Rest all the factors. Let's look at this. Remaining factors are, this is a two-way interaction. Okay, this is AB interaction. This is oven temperature and quantity of onion. This is nothing but the AC interaction. Oven temperature of time and cooking, it is called AD interaction. Brand of bread and quantity of onion, this is BD or BC interaction. This is BD interaction and this is AD, this is CD interaction. These are called two-way interaction, but none of them are below 0.05. Can you observe this? Not a single, not even three-way interaction and a four-way interaction. Not a single one here. P value is less than 0.05. Every P value is greater than 0.05. Have you observed this? Just give me yes in the chat box. Have you observed this? Just give me yes. Okay. So that means, let's say only C, factor C and factor D. Factor C and factor D are the critical factors. We can include factor A as well if you wish, according to your team's responsibility or according to your team's knowledge, experimentation, experience, etc. You can consider oven temperature as well in your model. So if I were you, I would have taken oven temperature in my experiment. Okay. So I will only take A, C, and D, and I will drop all the other terms. Okay. The fourth factor and the two-way interaction, three-way interaction, and four-way interaction, I will remove because they are not making any impact. Are you clear till now? Just give me yes in the chat box. Are you clear, everybody? वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. इसमें देखते हैं और कुछ है क्या मेन इफेक्ट में, फैक्टोरियल प्लॉट्स में कुछ है क्या? हाँ, लेट्स सी फैक्टोरियल प्लॉट्स में कुछ है क्या, इंटरेक्शन एंड मेन इफेक्ट. ओके, यहां पे भी देखिए, हाउ डू आई ड्रॉ दिस मेन इफेक्ट प्लॉट? जस्ट गो टू स्टैट, DOE, factorial. In this format, you can see here factorial plot. Can you see here factorial plot? Just click on factorial plot and click on OK. That's it. That's it what I did. Okay, I repeat again, stat DOE factorial and factorial plot. Everybody, you can just try this out. Stat DOE factorial plot. All right. Once you click on that, this window will appear. Just click on OK. Don't do anything else. First, you will get main effect plot. You remember Ajay, Vijay, Sanjay के लिए हम लोगों ने निकाला था main effect plot? How many of you remember that? Yes, just give me yes in the chat box. You remember? Very good. Now, let's look at oven temperature. When oven temperature was 60, just a second. Okay. On an average, the test is around 5, right? कितना है? 5 है ना? ये क्या है? Yes. Around 4.5. When oven temperature is 65, the test is around above 5. Okay. So there is a small impact of oven temperature. Look at brand of bread. Wibs and Britannia, it is not making much difference, guys. That's why this was dropped. Quantity of onion is the most impact making. When the quantity of onion is 1, your test is around 3. But when the quantity of onion is 2, the test is going around 7. And this is the highest contributing factor. And the time of cooking also has some significant impact. Okay, now this is a negative correlation. Understand this. As my time of cooking is increasing, this is my X. Correct? A, B, C, D, these are X, right? X1, X2, X3, X4. Now, when my time of cooking from 3 minutes to 5 minutes we are going, my taste is decreasing from 5 to 4 or 5.5 to 4. That is a negative correlation. Are you clear with this main effect plot? Just type yes in the chat box. Clear hai ye? There is another plot you will see here, and that is called interaction plot. Okay. There is second plot of interaction. Just for your information. Okay. ये हम लोग सब एडवांस में सिखाते हैं, एडवांस DOE में. But just for your understanding, if any tool, now this is interaction between oven temperature and brand of bread. Like, interaction meaning क्या? AB, AC, AD, BD, इनका interaction है ये, दोनों factor का interaction. So if there is an interaction, it will look like this. That means wherever there is an interaction, okay, they will actually, if the factors are crossing like this, that means that interaction is also very important. When the factors are crossing like this, the interaction is very important. But here, if you see, not a single interaction is crossing. Most of them are parallel, right? Maximum they are like this, but they are not crossing like this. If they're crossing, that means their interaction is very important interaction. That means they together are making very good impact on my Y. Clear? This is called interaction effect. Till now, everybody's clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Yahan tak everybody with me? The word terms more in the data, why we took specific one above regression, little unclear. Okay, let me just come to the terms. मैं terms पे ऊपर भी आता हूं. Okay. So यहां तक आ गए, ठीक है? Now let's go back to stat. Let's go back to stat. DOE, factorial, analyze factorial design. Everybody just follow this path once again. So first level of analysis we have done. Now we have identified there are few factors which are significant factors. There are few factors which are not significant factors. Okay. Correct. See, understand this. Understand how we are reducing our critical factors. Earlier, before beginning of the experiment, we had some 12 factors with us. Yes or no? We have some 12 total factors, out of which the team selected 4 factors. Correct? According to their experience, they selected 4 factors and they started running the experiment. After experimental run, they identified there are only 2 to 3 factors out of these 4 which are critical. Now they will remove all the other interaction, other terms, and then they will create this design once again. Okay, so create this analyze factorial design once again. Okay, now here in this, go to terms. Now when I say terms, what does that mean? Okay, what does that mean? Terms meaning kya hai? Terms meaning factors, two-way interaction, three-way interaction, and four-way interaction together are called as terms. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Are you clear? Terms meaning kya hai? Terms meaning, what is terms? One-way interaction, which is main effect, main factor. 4 factors are there, right? Then two-way interaction, A, B, B, C, B, D, etc. Then three-way interaction, A, B, C, A, B, D, etc. And a 4-way interaction, all put together are called as terms. Now, because we have understood that all of them are not critical, okay, what we will do here, first one is include terms in the model up through order. Right now, we will only consider one. What does it mean? Understand this again. What did I say? Terms meaning one main effect, two-way, three-way, and four-way. That is what it is shown. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have already understood only main effect, which are C and D, are critical. And we can consider factor number A as well because it is very close. Yes or no, everybody? Clear hai? Only main effect are important here. In this experiment I am talking about. Only main effect, which is quantity of onion and time of cooking, are showing some criticality. Yes? So we will only consider them. So right now only I will select one. That means automatically all the other factors are separated. Only main effects are pending here. Are you understanding? Just give me yes in the chat box. Karke dekho isko. I repeat again. Go to terms. Just select one. That means only main effect will be selected. Rest all of them will be taken on this side. Clear, everybody? Now out of which? Exactly. Out of which now we can remove brand of bread because brand of bread did not have any kind of impact. So select brand of bread and click like this. Click on this single arrow, this one. Click on single arrow on this side. So brand of bread also yahan pe chala jayega. Now we have only selected A, C and D. Yahan tak everybody is with me. Just give me yes in the chat box. So we have selected only main factors 4. And then we have just out of that brand of bread also we have selected, we have unselected. Clear? Now click on OK and click on OK. Wow, look at this. So this is a histogram, a little not symmetrical, but it's okay. But the residual plot is as far as, giving us a good result. It is between +2 and -2 standard deviation. Okay. Then comes to a standardized residual plot. All these 3 factors are very close to the critical value, right? Coming back to this, all the 3 factors now they are showing as kind of critical factors. So let's experiment with this. Okay. Now this is okay. Everybody got this value. Now let me show you something interesting. Let's go back to our sessions folder. Go to sessions folder, scroll it up and look at our regression equation, which is test is equal to -7.19, which is our, remember that yesterday regression and regression model. Y is equal to A plus BX. Correct? Now, because here we have got 3 x's, 3 factors, the model will be like this. Y is equal to A plus, what is that? b1 x1 plus b2 x2 plus b3 x3, and that is what exactly is shown here. A is equal to intercept. You remember intercept, which is if the line of best fit is extended, where it is hitting, where it is intersecting the y-axis, that is called intercept. So the first point is intercept and remaining are b1 x1, b2 x2, b3 x3. Clear with the regression model? This is the regression model for our reduced model. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Super clear है ये? Very good. Superb. Amazing. Okay. Now this is ANOVA table, analysis of variance table. Yesterday I gave you a link. How many of you remember? I gave you ANOVA table के बारे में एक सेशन लिया था मास्टर ब्लैक बेल्ट लेवल के लिए. How many of you remember? मैंने एक लिंक शेयर किया था कल. Remember that? So in your master class archive, for the people who were not present at that point in time, in the master class archive, okay, master class archive mein, there is a what you can say session which was taken on ANOVA table, where I have explained each and every factor here, each and every factor in the ANOVA table with manual calculation, and the Excel sheet is also given for your calculation. Okay, please check out, that is available in masterclass archive. The people who have already promoted to master black belt, how many of you have taken admission to master black belt? Type me in the chat box. How many of you are already in the master black belt level? Just type me in the chat box quickly. Anybody in the room? We had last month, we had a fantastic offer. Yes, there were two offers. You refer 4 people and get upgraded to master black belt, and there was an offer of 50% prices cut. Yes, a lot of people have taken the admission in the master black belt as well. Anyway, coming back to this. So this was available in the master black belt curriculum as well. That's what my point was. Okay, clear? Now, so everybody is clear till now? Just give me yes in the chat box. So we have analyzed the entire model. We reduced the less important terms, and we run the model again, and we reduced our experimental design. Okay, clear? Now let's do something extra. Go to stat and DOE factorial and just check out on response optimizer. Just click on response optimizer, guys. Stat DOE factorial response optimizer. Everybody, stat DOE factorial response optimizer. Just click on response optimizer. You will come to this page. Everybody with me? I repeat again. Stat DOE factorial response optimizer. Just give me yes if you have found this page. Just give me yes. Now here the test. The goal is, now there are multiple options are being given here. Okay, because we want to increase or improve the test, correct? So always we have to maximize, correct? That's what we look for. So we have to select maximize. And let me say anything else. No, setup में कुछ नहीं है. Options में भी कुछ नहीं. Anyways, and just click on OK. And you will get something like this. Everybody got this? Just type yes in the chat box. ऐसा कुछ मिला आपको ग्राफ? Got it, everybody? I'm just waiting for your confirmation if you have received this. Now, this is something which will blow your mind away. Ready? Now, this is called response optimizer, the ultimate. Okay, कहां पे अटके हो आप कृष्णा जी? Tell me. Let me just close this. Have you completed the last? यहां तक आप पहुंच गए थे? Have you completed up to regression model, reduced regression model after dropping the terms? Just give me yes, no in the chat box. Very good. Now what we do is go to stat, DOE, factorial, and response optimizer. Stat, DOE, factorial, and response optimizer. Just click on that. Click on response optimizer. You will come to this page. In the goal column, just select maximize. Just select maximize and click on OK. That's it. Maximize karo and OK ko click karo. That's it. And you will get this response optimizer. Everybody got it? Very good. Fantastic. Now look at this. These are the three factors which we are selected. Oven temperature, quantity of onion, and time of cooking. Correct? Factor number A, factor number C, factor number D. We have dropped factor number B and other two-way, three-way, and four-way interaction हमने drop कर दिया था. Only these three factors we have kept. Now understand this. This is the highest setting, which is 65. This is the lowest setting, which is 60. Quantity of onion के लिए this is the highest setting 2, the lowest setting is 1. Time of cooking के लिए highest setting is 5 and the lowest setting is 3. In the middle, whatever is setting shown in the red, this is the optimized setting. That means to get the maximum result, maximum test, you have to keep your oven temperature at 65, quantity of onion at 2, and time of cooking at 3. If you keep this as, so on an average, it is expected to get out of 1 to 10, you can get 7.31 rating to your sandwich test. And this is the optimizer. And this is optimizer. Now, what is the advantage of this? What is the advantage? Now you can play around this. Understand this. You can play around. Okay, why is your test, right? So this is the maximum average you can achieve, 7.3. Okay, now just play around. Let's look at this red, vertical line. If I change this red vertical line, I am right now at 65. I come to 62, let's say. If I take it to 62, let's look at it. The moment I keep it to 62, my test has dropped from 7.3 to 6.8. How many of you observed this? Just type yes in the chat box. This is without experimenting. Now you can actually predict the value of any value in between up to 4 decimals accuracy. And this is the beauty of this response optimizer. How many of you mind blown with this? Now let's look at this. Quantity of onion 1 and 2. What if I keep 1.5? 1.5? What will happen to my test? Let's say I keep my oven temperature at 65. I only change my quantity of onion to 1.5. I will get my test dropped. Even if my time of cooking also, if I reduced, if I increase from 3 to 5, what will happen is my test also will have impact. I don't understand. So you can play around this and you can just predict the response of your test without actually making the sandwich. And this is the ultimate achievement you can have. Clear, everybody? Just type yes in the chat box. So once your model is done, then you can just come to response optimizer and do the predict. So you don't have to manually calculate, putting the values in your model. Just come here and just play around these lines and you will get your desired output. Clear? Just type yes in the chat box. Very interesting, isn't it? Yes, absolutely very interesting. So when you do it for your own data, no, you will really, it will be mind-blowing experience for you. When we do the reserve experiments now in the corporates, in the companies, it really amazes people like anything. They get so much of valuable insights about their own process, which they were never aware of. And that's the magic of reserve experimentation. Yes. So we have got advanced design of experimentation in the master black belt level. Okay, so see, I want everybody, each and every individual in the community to to go to master black belt. If not today, go some other time. Okay, but go to the master black belt level and get the fullest advantage of this. That's what my recommendation is. All right. Yes. And generally what happens is there are two obstacles to or two objections I generally get for the master black belt level. What is the first obstacle? First obstacle meaning, first obstacle is, can I do it? Can I do it? Can I handle that? Advanced statistics. Can I handle the training, etc.? How many of you have that kind of doubt in your mind? Type me in the chat box. Do you have that doubt in your mind right now? That in the master black belt level, if I go, can I handle that kind of statistical data or the advanced statistical tools? Okay. There are a lot of things which we cover, which is even greater advance in the black belt, than the black belt level. Do you have anybody in the room has that kind of doubt that I may not be able to handle that kind of complexity? Nobody? Yes. A lot of people I spoke with have that doubt. See, if you can understand the design of experimentation. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you have you understood right from day one? Have you understood the data transformation, box cost transformation? Have you understood? Just give me yes. Have you understood the ANOVA, chi-square test, F ratio test? Have you understood advanced, what you can say, regression analysis? Have you understood design of experimentation? Yes or no? If you have understood this, absolutely the extension also will be understood easily. Understand this. So have that trust, have that faith. Okay. And I'm there to support you. I'm making it so easy and so simple for you so that you can easily come. Right? So the first objection is taken care of. The second objection comes is, sir, thoda sa expensive hai, sir. How many of you found that it is expensive? And I had already given the offer. A lot of people, by the way, took that. But tell me, 20,000 rupees, okay, for your master black belt. Now tell me honestly, okay, as you have taken admission for green belt and the black belt with Minitab, with this live coaching hackathon, every week 2 live coaching sessions, and your portals access, everything. You have only made the payment of 10,000 plus GST. Is it value for money, guys? Just type yes or no in the chat box. Do you find it was value for money? Be very honest. If it is no, just write no. I will not take it negatively. Okay. Don't don't type yes because I'm asking yes to type. Okay. Just give your feedback to me. Then if any certification which is enabling you to go to the top level management, which is enabling you to go to the 45 lakhs per annum average salary in India, which is enabling you to start your consulting business. Okay. So if we are charging 20,000 plus GST, which is 19,999 plus GST, is it really very high investment? When we are, we go to a dinner with the family, right? We spend minimum 5 to 10,000 rupees, yes or no? And we are spending this for our career, which can increase our income. Understand this. So this is the second objection, that money is a. How many of you have that objection in your mind? Type me in the chat box. Be very honest. Type me in the chat box. If you have some some hesitation, you can just select host and panelist and just send to me that yes, I have that doubt. I have that objection that अगर पैसे का प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता ना सर मैं डेफिनेटली लेता. How many of you like that? Just type me in the chat box. That offer was very good, sir. वो offer एक बार वापस आ जाए ना तो मुझे बता देना. Okay, last 2 days, lot of people are sending the message. Okay, lot of people are sending the message that sir वो offer कब वापस आएगा? तो offer वापस कैसे? Offer इसलिए दिया जाता है to take the quick, what you can say, decision. All right. Yes. So this is very, very important. If you're serious, you will take the advantage. Okay. So next offer आएगा तो हम लोग बताएंगे. Yes. Whether it's 31st offer, 31st midnight को ही खत्म हो गया. All right. Now here is this important stuff. Okay. The people the people who are interested to upgrade, all right, for a very short span of time, I'm giving you that offer right now. How about that? If I open the window of the 31st March wala offer for a very short span of time, right now, here is the link. Make the click on the link. You can make the payment with the help of credit card as well. For these people right now in the live session, this offer I'm extending. Grab this opportunity and upgrade yourself with the 50% reduction in the pricing. It is already gone offer. People are typing in the chat box, is it still valid? Can we get that offer? Here is the offer for you. Okay. Make this, make a commitment, come on board, and I will see you in the group of Master Black Belt as well. Okay, Rameshji, go for it. This is for you. And all the people who are leaders, see, why we have reduced the pricing, because I want money should not be the criteria. See, why we are charging this, because हमारे भी कुछ खर्चे हैं, right? इस ये जो LMS पोर्टल होता है ना, LMS पोर्टल वगैरह, उसको बहुत खर्चा होता है, हमारे एडवर्टीजमेंट को बहुत खर्चा होता है, राइट? सो ऑल दिस एक्सपेंसेस आर देयर. जूम के लिए बहुत खर्चा होता है, करेक्ट? So our staff is there, staff ke liye. So all these things we take a very simple charge and we provide maximum value to you. Okay, that's our effort, right? And you have seen a lot of people are getting positive results. They are getting promotions, good salary, good new jobs opportunities, etc. Some people are extending to by the way, for this group I would like to extend the second offer as well, which is nothing but the business launch program at 50,000 including GST, right? So that link also I'm sharing right now only for this group, which is the Black Belt Hackathon group. Okay, so this link also is there. We will keep this open till 12 midnight today. All right. If you're interested, you can send the message on our WhatsApp number, which is 9930595248 wala. Okay. All right. Everybody, if you have any doubt, just send a message and our team will. So we'll keep this link open for this group particular, the people who are present right now. Okay. Clear hai this? Happy now? The people who miss, I know that some of your salary gets credited in the first week of the month. Okay, I can understand that. All right. For them only, this has been opened up only for this group. Okay, got it? Yes, Rameshji, go ahead. And all the other people who want to go ahead for this, please go ahead and send a screenshot once it is done, and our team will, you'll get the automatic reply, automatic email, and this one. All right, fantastic. Now, clear hai? यहाँ पे इसमें कोई doubt है तो type in the chat box that what is there in Master Black Belt, what is there in everything. I will explain you. Second point. Now coming back to the examination of the Black Belt. Okay. Now, how many of you sitting here have completed your Green Belt certification, have completed your Black Belt study, and you are ready for the examination? Just type me in the chat box. How many of you like that? Okay, quite a few people are there. Huh? Very good, very good. All right, all right. Now for this you require a Green Belt certification number. All right. So what you need to do is, now, right now, there are two options you have. Let me just go back to my whiteboard and explain you what is the procedure. Procedure exactly remains same as our Green Belt certification. Okay. Let me just quickly give you, but you require 2 hours. The duration is for Black Belt examination. Okay. The duration is 2 hours. All right. There will be 100 questions, 100 MCQs are there. Again, the same open book test. 70% minimum passing criteria as per the CSSC norms. That's what we follow very strictly. All right. If you cannot reach to 70%, you can give the second attempt. There is no extra charges, nothing of that sort is there. Once you clear the exam, once you submit the examination, within the 6 working days, you will receive the result. along with the certificate. Same procedure like we follow in the green belt level. Clear? Now the question is, because you have already, today was a working day, you have already worked, right? We have just completed our hackathon, 2 hours, more than 2 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes now. Okay. So right now, you take a call if you have the energy left to sit calmly with your, with 2 hours. Okay. Then what you need to do is just send a message. Okay. And as I mentioned to you, your green belt certificate number is required. Okay, everybody who are certified in green belt only are qualified to sit for the examination. So you need to put your green belt certificate number and then only need to submit. Otherwise, this will not get submitted. It's a mandatory number. Are you clear, everybody? So the people who are ready for the examination, if you have energy left, send a message on the WhatsApp number, our admin WhatsApp number. Yes, Ghoshji, yes, there is a mock test given in the black belt level, na black belt curriculum mein. In the bottom, there is a mock test given. Okay, sample question. You can check that out as well. All right. So if you have energy left, send the message right now. Our team will send the examination link and the procedure to you. You can submit the examination. If you want some more time, maybe a couple of days, or you want to give the examination on the weekend, perfectly all right. You can decide and communicate accordingly on the WhatsApp number. Okay? Super clear, everybody. Just give me yes in the chat box. No, ऐसा नहीं है, Madhu ji. You can have multiple attempts. ऐसा नहीं है. You have see, but I have seen there was only one person who gave 3 attempts and pass. Rest 90% of the people, clear in first attempt. Some people take second attempt. Okay, only one person took 3 attempts. That's it. Okay, so don't worry about it. See, submission of the note is recommended but not mandatory. Okay, submission of the note is not recommended. Recommended but not mandatory. Okay. Yeah, I'm taking admission but not receiving OTP. Okay. All right. Network का issue होगा. Okay, Rajji, if you are, in your, if you have the network, एक बार चेक करिए. राउटर वगैरह होगा ना, तो राउटर का नेटवर्क मत लीजिए, आपका मोबाइल नेटवर्क चालू करिए. ओके, उसमें ओटीपी का ये जल्दी आएगा. दैट्स माय एक्सपीरियंस. ओके, इफ यू हैव राउटर, नो, सो जनरली इट ओटीपी आने के लिए प्रॉब्लम होती है. ओके, मोबाइल ओटीपी नॉट कमिंग. मे बी जस्ट चेक द नेटवर्क, दे नेटवर्क का इश्यू होगा. ओके, यू कैन ट्राई दिस. 12 बजे तक वो लिंक खुला रहेगा. यू कैन ट्राई एंड वंस इट इज डन, जस्ट चेक दी, गिव दी, व्हाट कैन से, द स्क्रीनशॉट. ओके, on the number. ठीक है, everybody clear with this? पेमेंट रिजेक्टेड. एक बार चेक करिए, आपका कार्ड एक बार चेक करिए. कार्ड चेंज करके देखिए एक बार. Why it is getting rejected? Let me give you the link once again. So the people who have missed out on 31st वाला ऑफर, ओके, उनके लिए ये है. ये ऑफर मैं ओपन कर रहा हूं जस्ट टिल 12 o'clock टुडे. Okay, the people who are ready right now, who have already gone for the black belt examination वगैरह, even if you are not going for this, you can just block your seat for the master black belt. Okay, because this offer is already closed. I'm just opening it for some time for you guys. All right, other people will not be getting this opportunity, so think about it. So Madhuji, we will get, once you are ready, just send a message on our WhatsApp number, as I said. Okay, this one. Once you send a message on this WhatsApp number, our team will share with you the procedure and the exam link for the black belt. If you want to do it right now, you can do it. If you want some more time, maybe tomorrow, day after, or the weekend, you can decide accordingly. Okay? Done? There are 2 Madhus in the room right now. Okay. Yes? Okay, fantastic. Superb. All right. Now the people who are making the payment, Ranjanji as well as Raj Yadavji, you can just try it out. All right. Any question, you can reach out to our WhatsApp number and we will be there to support you. All right. We will keep the link open till 12 midnight. Okay. So So right now, I'm just closing the session. Any question which is unanswered, let me know. Link for examination, you are saying? Yogesh, you're saying the examination link? Have you sent the message to that number? WhatsApp पे भेजा है क्या? See, if you want examination link, please connect. If you want the payment link for Master Black Belt, 50% off वाला offer. Okay, हाँ. अभी करेंगे. Okay, people are just connecting with them, so abhi we will reply on that. Okay, आपको मिल जाएगा reply, so you can give the examination. The people who are making the payment, if you want payment link on the WhatsApp number, please do that. Please do that. Uh, we will do that as well. Okay, Ramesh, you have done the payment. Fantastic. Congratulations. Welcome on board. Superb, superb, amazing. This is what the leadership is all about. Okay, so I'm looking for other people, Rajji as well as Ranjan Das ji as well. Okay, I'm wishing you all the very best. Okay, welcome to Master Black Belt in advance. Okay, any question which is unanswered, please let me know. ठीक है, हाँ, एक बार नेटवर्क चेक कर लीजिए आपके पेमेंट के लिए, एंड देन you can try again. We'll keep the link open. ठीक है, midnight तक open रहेगी link. Okay, super. The people who have sent the message on WhatsApp, you will receive the response in a short while. Okay, I wish you all the very best. Give your examination, upgrade to the Master Black Belt, and I'll see you in the Master Black Belt community. Okay, bye bye. Thank you very much for joining this hackathon. I wish you all the very best for the examination. Till the time, keep learning, keep